You're watching the Doomsday Pro Wrestling. We are Guillotine from Nashville, Tennessee. Check us out at guillotineband.com. Find us on social media at Guillotine615.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to your debut episode of D.P-W Apocalypse. I am your commissioner, Michael Ramone, standing here with my co-host. He is the 2004 Spring Break Beer Pong Champion, Mr. Liberty. Tonight we have 4 action-packed matches. Count them, 4 action-packed matches on the slate for you tonight. Run it down for us, Mr. Liberty.
See, we got the match of the year, yours truly versus that stinky, winky Bonehead on Bone on a Pole. We've got Levi Motionless versus my good pal Simply Rick, which was match of the year. I don't think so. I think it was me and Rick. You also got that match. Me and Rick, the rightful match of the year. Me and Rick Gunner, champion versus champion. And then, I don't know. What else do we got? I don't know. I have no idea.
We got the match of the year 2022. We got Bonehead versus Mr. Liberty, Bone on a Pole. We got Match of the Year award winner 2023, Levi Motionless versus Rick Gunner. We got Kirk Patrick versus Rick Gunner.
Kirk Patrick, that stinky winky. He's Joe Dirt's favorite cousin. I think he stinks. He needs to buy some VO5 or whatever they sell at the Dollar General store. He stinks.
You can say whatever you want, but we also have the match that you've said is Match of the Year.
Match of the year.
And the best match in Doomsday history. And let's go to it now. Simply Rick versus a former world champion. Simply Rick versus Mr. Liberty.
And welcome back, fans. This is the debut episode of D.P.W Apocalypse, and what better way to kick it off than the greatest match in D.P.W history. Simply Rick being challenged by a world champion for his Continental Championship, Mr. Liberty, Simply Rick. This is a clash of the Titans if I've ever saw one.
This is far from a clash of the Titans. What this was a mockery. I challenged Rick to find a former world champion. Who was I supposed to know that he took it in such a literal sense? He didn't find a former wrestling world heavyweight champion.
Brutal lockup. Oh my gosh, brutal lockup.
This is a mockery to this sport. It was on the night and it still is now. He went out and found you, the world beer pong champion of Spring Break from 2004.
Carmen Electra gave me that title, and oh my gosh, I think he dislocated my shoulder.
You know, he's acting like he's hurt. You're acting like this is the toughest match that you've ever been in.
This was the toughest match I've ever been in. I had to train 3 weeks with my good pal Psychosis for this match.
You had to train 3 weeks with Psychosis to work this slow-paced snail match?
Slow? What are you talking about slow? We have breakneck speeds. El Dandy trained with me. He was on my cardio team.
And as he attempts to whip him off the ropes, this mockery.
Oh gosh, look at that. That's so fast. So fast. El Dandy's proud. Psychosis is proud.
I'm sure the only person who would be proud of that speed is Forrest Gump, and he had a learning disability.
What, Forrest Gump? Who's talking about? Oh, vicious clothesline. Stan Hansen is rolling over in his El Camino about this. Look, getting a little drink ski going on.
If Vader could see this move that you said that would have lit up Stan Hansen, he would be rolling in his grave. This is a mockery. You go over, you took a drink from the flask, and you fall over. You fall flat on your ass like the alcoholic that you are. This match is an absolute mockery.
That mat was wet. The referee should have swept and mopped before I got in the ring. Good pal picking me up.
The only thing being swept.
Whoa. Watch this. What is this? This is the Tijuana treasure chest. Oh, right there in the chest.
Tijuana treasure chest.
Oh, that's a nerve hold.
It looks more like what killed WCW to me. This is a mockery. This shouldn't be the match that's starting out the debut episode of Apocalypse.
3. Oh, look
Rick
at that.
might have won the title, but this is just too much.
As you saw, Michael Ramone, I'm still champion. Rick still champion. Match of the year. That's the best match of the decade.
No, that was a mockery, and I was not going to let it go down that way. That match was a travesty. It is the worst match in Doomsday Pro Wrestling history.
Match? No, it was
you
best
know
match.
It was the worst match
Look
in
at the
Doomsday Pro
chest.
Wrestling
Kiss the
history.
belt. Kiss the
No.
belt.
And that is why our next match is the real championship match from that
cut
night.
camera. Cut camera.
No. The real match from that night. Up next is Simply Rick versus Kirkpatrick.
And here we go with the second match of D.P.W. Apocalypse. And in this match, we have a real Wrestling World Champion, the D.P.W. World Tag Team Champion, Kirkpatrick, who is looking to finally get his comeuppance over Simply Rick after all the rigmarole that Simply Rick put him through over the year.
What are you talking about, Ramone? Rick shouldn't have to be defending this title right now. He just defended it against me. I think this is BS, pardon the language. This is a screw job.
This isn't a screw job. Rick got himself into this. He chose you. He faced you for that championship, and that wasn't a real match. This is a real match. Kirkpatrick, top of the line competitor, and we're going to see it in this match with Simply Rick.
You know, Kirkpatrick comes out here with his mullet. He's Joe Dirt's favorite cousin. You know, Rick Gunner, he reminds me of a young Bret Hart.
Well, you know what? He reminds me of David Spade, which I guess goes back to the Joe Dirt reference.
You mean David Spade? What are you talking about? David Spade and Joe Dirt.
Aren't they the same person?
I thought they was two different people.
You think a lot of things, none of which the average American thinks. Back to the action. As Kirkpatrick, he is chasing Simply Rick all over the place.
You know, I look at him swinging his mullet. He's been to the DG earlier in the day to get his hair products, his stinky shampoo and conditioner, that El Cheapo VO5.
You know, I don't actually think that he gets the hair products from the DG because everybody knows that the DG is second rate. He probably goes to the Family Dollar.
Oh, I don't know about that, fans. I don't know about that. The last time I was in a Family Dollar store with my big brother, Buck Bresner.
So it's more American.
Well, there was no Dollar General around. Not that I condone, you know, Kirkpatrick's shenanigans.
You say shenanigans, I say he gets the job done and wins titles.
No, look at the champ. He smacked him right in the face like the champ he is. Whoa. Get him back.
Simply Rick, he's obviously scared of Kirkpatrick in this match. I don't even think they've yet to lock up because he's too scared to touch Kirkpatrick. He knows that Kirk will beat him in a straight-up one-on-one fight.
You know, he just defended his title. We got the Psycho on the outside giving words of wisdom. Look at Rick Gunner. I just love this guy.
I know you love this guy. You were once the mascot for the Infinity Effect. Can you tell me a bit about that?
The mascot? What do you mean? I was honorary. You know what I'm talking about, Ramone. I was an honorary member.
You were an honorary member. You worked with him in the Surviving the Game match.
Yeah, I carried the cool-off rag. I took care of his every want and need. You know, if he got thirsty, I gave him a drink. If he needed cooled off, I gave him my towel.
So, let's say that, for lack of a better term, you made sure that if he needed some relief, you gave him some relief.
Well, yeah, that's what friends are for, Ramone. What do you mean, relief? Of course I give my friends relief.
Of course, that's why you always carry the cool-off rag in case one of your friends needs some relief.
Well, absolutely. What else are you going to put to sweat?
Exactly. as Kirkpatrick is still yet to lock up with Simply Rick, who at this moment seems scared out of his wits. He probably wishes he was facing you as we lock up now.
Oh, well, I think he pulled his hair. He pulled his hair.
I don't think he pulled his hair. I think that he's got him in a nice side headlock, and we are off to the races in this match. No more running for Simply Rick now.
Look at Rick. He's getting ready to take over. If he would quit pulling his hair, the referee needs to get in there and disqualify Kirk like the cheat that he is.
I don't think Kirk's a cheat. I don't think he's pulling his hair. He is just working this man.
Well, look at that, Ramone. What was that?
I didn't see anything.
Looked like he was in his eyes.
In his eyes? You know, the only thing it looked like was in his eyes in this match was his own hair.
Well, you know, Ramone, I don't even know. It's ridiculous out here with you.
It may be ridiculous, but, you know, you're stuck with this job. You got to honor the commitments. So you're stuck with me.
It's got to say, oh, what did the referee do?
The referee trying to separate it. It looks like Simply Rick taking advantage of his position there. Maybe telling a tale on Kirkpatrick. I don't think Kirkpatrick did anything wrong there, but it looks like Simply Rick had told the referee that he had.
Did you see that? He just done the moonwalk. He done the moonwalk made famous by Michael Jackson.
Well, you know what they say about Michael Jackson.
Yeah, he was the greatest man ever lived. He was MJ. I know DJ is my good pal. He might be the greatest man ever lived, but Michael Jackson was a fine citizen.
He was a fine citizen.
Yeah, what haven't you ever been to Neverland before?
Fortunately have not. Michael Jackson is about as upstanding as a citizen is one of your fellow competitors in that said match I mentioned earlier.
Oh, I don't know about that, fans. All I'm saying is, look at this. You just landed the screws to Gunner right there. He could have got the count out, but you say, oh no, not today.
Yeah, I had to toy with Rick a bit in this match. I had to let him know that if he counted out, he would lose the championship. If he got disqualified, he'd lose the championship. I was tired of him jerking around this title like he did in that match with you. Tonight was going to be Kirkpatrick's night, or we were going to have to get Rick Gunner. Leave Simply Rick at home. Rick Gunner was going to have to wrestle this match if he wanted to win that championship.
Simply Rick Gunner, they're interchangeable. He's always a champion, and I love this guy.
You're right about that. He is always a champion. He is always in a championship match. Now, some say that's because of his in-ring skill. Others say he weaseled himself into that spot. Me, myself, I plead the fifth.
No, weasel. There's no weaseling going on. It's just Rick. Right there, he's pulling his hair again. I cannot believe this.
How could you possibly see that he's pulling his hair?
I'm like Madame Cleo. I can see things that you can't see, because I'm a world champion. I'm an American freaking hero.
You're an American hero.
Took the leg out just like the Nature Boy would. The Nature Boy, he texted me later and he said that Rick Gunner is the greatest champion he's ever saw.
You have a lot of stories like with DJ and Michael Jackson and now the Nature Boy, and it looks like I've also gotten Psycho Chris Noble kicked out from ringside here, and it has absolutely tore Simply Rick up. He's working the leg. He's actually trying to work, and if he would have done this from the start of the match, I think he would have actually been able to get the job done early. Rick is a top-notch competitor.
You know, the Nature Boy, Buddy Landale himself, taught Rick Gunner the figure four, and Rick Gunner, speaking of dirty, Buddy Landale, I'm sorry I'm getting my names confused, fans. I had Dirty on the mind. Rick Gunner has a pinfall victory over Dirty Dutch Mantell back in the HCW days.
You know, you've always got something dirty on the mind. That's why you can't lay off the sauce.
I've been sober for the past 12 hours. Ramone, you know that.
Okay. We share a booth. So, unless I'm smelling a skunk, I don't think that's correct.
The skunk, yeah, skunk sprayed me earlier today. You ain't sniffing around my coffee again, are you?
Of course not. But if that skunk's still around, you might have to take a bath in some tomato juice.
I don't know anything about that. My good pal Buck Bresser, he got sprayed by a skunk on the way to Tennessee one time.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he had to pull off the side of the road. He had to walk it off, just like a chump that he is.
Buck Bresner seems like the kind that would have to take many a stops and walk much off.
Yeah, you know, he has to load up on his protein, so we have to stop off at the gas stations to get cream pies and coffee.
You know, he does very much strike me as somebody that loves his cream pies.
Well, that's the secret of his success. It's a great cream pie. You always make sure you have your cool-off towel afterwards.
So, to get his relief, you give him a nice cream pie, and you get your cool-off rag, everybody cools off, and you get back on the road.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's how I was taught. That's how I was taught. That's how Rick was taught. Any great champion knows that the key to success is cooling off.
So that's that veteran instinct.
Yeah, veteran instinct. Look, he snapped the leg.
That nice leg DDT. I told you, I don't disagree. Rick is definitely a great champion. He's a great wrestler when he wants to be.
Corkscrew elbow, just like the Nature Boy. And
Pendulum elbow, but...
It's corkscrew, the Buddy Landell. Come on.
Are you talking about Ric Flair and Buddy Landell?
Buddy Landell. Who else would be the Nature Boy? It's Buddy Landell.
You know, we almost had a Nature Boy once here in DPW.
Oh, we don't talk about him, fans.
Yep.
I don't know. Rick Gunner working the ankle, Kurt Angle, he would be happy. Buddy Landell would be happy. Rick Gunner is a champion you could be proud of.
So you're saying he's a champion of champions?
A champion of champions.
You know, some would say he's one of these guys that, you know, you could just look at and say, in this guy's prime, he was better than the 1-2-3 Kid.
Exactly. That's Tracy Smothers told him that in the locker room. I was there to witness it.
You were there to witness it? You know what? I believe it. I believe it. Rick Gunner does have that heart.
Me and the Nature Boy was sitting in the corner. We could back that up. If the Nature Boy was still here, God bless him, he would back it up 100%.
Rick going those big shots to Kirk Patrick. Kirk Patrick looks like he's been taken out of this match. Once Rick Gunner was forced to wrestle and not act like Simply Rick, he started wrestling a big game. You know, some would say Kirk Patrick is an equal to Rick. They are adversaries. I would almost say 1A and 1B in DPW, but on any given night they could trade victories. And we've seen that in this match when Rick Gunner took over and actually started wrestling Kirk Patrick.
You know, it looks like the Rick might actually be going old school here. We might be seeing a 619 soon.
That is true. He is known to break out that Tiger Feint kick.
We got Kirk's dirty mullet. He cheated. I think he rubbed grease in his hair.
Rubbed grease in his hair. You're full of excuses for Simply Rick. Whenever you could just talk about the fact that if he just tried to out-wrestle him, he could be on his level. He could get this thing done on his own. We're seeing that right now as opposed to what we saw from the Simply Rick antics at the start of this match.
You know, Kirk is a world-traveled athlete, but I just don't see it happening tonight. He come out here, he's trying to take advantage of a wore-down, tired champion. But, you know, he's got look at there it is, right back to the knee.
Yeah, Rick has worked over this knee, something fierce in this match, showing that he's also well-trained. He's ready to end it. He made the mistake. He looked right over. He tried to call a shot. He tried to bait. Roll up 1, 2, and 3. Kirk Patrick taking the Continental Championship from Rick Gunner in that match after the mockery that you made out of that championship, calling yourself a former world champion. I told you that match was a much better match with Kirk Patrick walking out the DPW Continental Champion.
No, I'm the champ. Rick's the champ. I'm the champ. We're still champs.
Okay, you're still champs. Still champs. Well, if you want to see a match that Mr. Liberty was in that was actually a good match, hell, I'd say a great match, what we got up next is just that. As it was a Match of the Year award winner before we even saw the introduction.
Two-time winner. Two-time winner. Me versus that stinky winky Neanderthal sociopath Bonehead. Let's check it out right now.
Right now? Here we go. Bone on the Pole 1. And we move on now to the original Bone on a Pole. We hear you know, you're running your mouth to Bonehead. I know Bonehead. I've known Bonehead for years. I'm the one that resurrected him from the boneyard. Hell, he even asked me to be the referee of this match. I know he's not going to put up with that mouth. He's not going to be putting up with any of your shit.
That is very inappropriate, Michael Ramone, and I'm just offering him a hearty handshake, trying to bury the hatchet. And this big Neanderthal, he's a sociopath. He hangs around with you. You're both stinky winkies.
You can call both of us stinky winkies all you want, but the reason this match is a part of this debut episode of DPW Apocalypse is because, it was a Match of the Year award winner. You asked to show the world that you could wrestle, and, well, you kind of did here by Bonehead kicking your ass as the inaugural Bone on the Pole gets underway.
That's an illegal choke right there. I had to go to the good old faithful. I had to go for his eyes, the weak spot. Look at this. This is athletic prowess at its finest. And
are you really gonna say that it's athletic prowess with those weak-ass chops?
Weak? That wasn't weak. And look at my bronze tan. I'm a bronze god in this match.
You did go and get that spray tan before the match, but Bonehead just laying it in.
Look, he has my shirt over my face. That's an American flag.
Anything is legal in Bone on the Pole, and these big elbows, he's just taking it to you.
DJ gave me that shirt. That's a very expensive shirt. It's near and dear to my heart.
He's choking you with it.
It's choking me. That's exactly right. That's the only way this big Neanderthal could ever have me on the mat like that.
You act like you're some sort of collegiate wrestler.
Yeah, I went to the University of Tennessee. I was there with the Vol Man.
The Vol Man? Well, as you two are going at it, rolling out of the ring, and, anybody that says that they've been to wrestling school with the Vol Man, that says everything about them that could ever be said, but you two are just going at it on the ground.
I'm an American superhero, and he's the Tennessee superhero. We were roommates. We were dorm mates. We went on dates all the time together.
Yep, and both of your girls were stolen by Bob E. Wire.
Bobby White, yeah, that freaking prick. I wish he would show his face and eyes around me again. He owes me $20 from the cafeteria that day.
I'm gonna have to tell the American Giant that you slipped up and said a swear.
A swear? What? I didn't say no swear,
You called
Ramone.
Bobby Wire a prick.
A prick? Well, he is a prick. That's not in the Bible, is it?
I don't know. I've not read it.
Oh, you need Jesus, Ramone.
I've met Jesus. He's a nice man.
Jesus. Jesus was out earlier cutting my grass.
No, that wasn't Jesus. That was your friend, Psychosis. He was out playing lawnmower races with Super Crazy.
Oh, yeah, how could I forget? El Dandy's supposed to come over later for some tequila.
Yeah, and that's when Jesus is showing up.
Yeah, Jesus and Jesus, I don't know. Look, nice whip to the railing. I'm in control. That
You are
Neanderthal.
controlling this match. No, this match, it was Match of the Year for a reason. You two, you beat the holy hell of each other. I mean, if we're being honest, this is one of the matches I'm being a little bit more relaxed with the language because we can do that here on DPW Apocalypse. We're TV-14, we are a family show, but we're for a more mature audience.
Well, you know what? You should have Jesus, Ramone. I hear that there's going to be great things coming in America in 2024, and Mr. Liberty's right behind them. I've got a book out. My friend DJ's got a book out. It's a very complimentary to each other.
You took that railing right to the chest, and just like that, Bonehead takes over. Bonehead is one of these guys that you just can't keep down. Bonehead, he's a lot like, a zombie. He just keeps coming. He's got a one-track mind.
I partied with the ECW zombie one night.
How'd that end up for him?
That's what he was saying in the toilet, Ramone.
Oh, and a big splash did not pay off for Bonehead. This match, we're being a little bit silly playing it coy on commentary, but this is one of the best matches in DPW history. And I'm not just saying that because I was a part of it as the referee and because Bonehead's my friend. I wouldn't say a nice word about you if you paid me like you paid the Diamonds.
Well, of course I pay the Diamonds, Ramone. Who? I've got to support them. Scott Diamond was a frickin' Marine.
That is true. Bless the troops, as they say.
I always bless the troops. I'm an American hero.
You are an American hero, and apparently you partnered with zombies. Oh! Bounced his head off the thermostat.
It looks like you might be owing somebody some money for that one.
Well, I put it on Rick Gunner's tab. What the hey? Now I've got him in the stinky winky toilet. I'm gonna flush this big.
This was one of the most crazy moments we've ever seen in DPW. I don't know if the fans can hear it. There is brawling going on in that bathroom, and if I'm not mistaken, before you're thrown out here by Bonehead, we hear a toilet flush. Did he give you a swirly?
Give me a swirly. I gave him a swirly.
Then why was your head wet when you got back in the ring? You didn't think I'd notice?
I thought I used my cool-off tap, and he's got
one of the biggest pops in DPW. Bonehead holding up that plunger, letting the fans know that he was back on top, and he was sticking it to you.
Stick it there. That's not appropriate, Ramone.
I'll just watch what just happened, and he popped it to you.
That frickin' plunger, the handle of it said Ian Rotten on it. I don't know what the heck that means, but it smelled horrible.
It means you might want to go get checked.
What do you mean? I'm a virgin.
Work.
No, I don't know about that, fans.
All I'm saying is Bonehead.
Look at that.
Was caught by Jimmy Lamb, and you know what they say about Jimmy? He never misses the hole.
Oh.
You can ask me that personally. One time I was managing good old school Johnny Hughes, then Johnny Jordan. Oh, huge shot with that chair there, but I was managing him. Jimmy came up behind me, and he took my cane, and he shoved it where the sun don't shine.
I'm going to break his freaking ankle right here.
Pillmanize him.
Just like Kurt Angle, I'm going to break his freaking ankle, and I'm going to put him into Liberty Lock.
Not the technical way like a Kurt Angle would, but this is intense. This is brutal violence. Dare I say this is the most brutal match we've ever had in DPW?
Well, of course it is. I was involved. I don't like this style of wrestling, but if push come to shove, I'm not going to stand, I'm not going to back down.
So you're saying if you're pushed again in a match like you had right here with Bonehead, do you think you can win Match of the Year again?
Of course, I've won Match of the Year again. What are you talking about? I'm a two-time Match of the Year winner.
Well, who did you win Match of the Year with last year?
Simply Rick. We watched it earlier.
But that was from the year before that.
I don't know.
I don't know. Time's a flat circle.
I don't know. Haven't you watched The Terminator, fans?
No. James Cameron keeps changing it.
Oh, and that stinky winky sign across my shoulders,
That looked like it was one of the hardest shots we've ever seen in DPW. You two are rocked. You are beating the hell out of each other. And to remind fans, the way to win, you have to get that bone and use it before you can even get, the pinfall or submission. And boom, here he comes back with that wet floor sign. Oh, cracks it across the back of Bonehead. Bonehead, he was a little loopy in this match. There was a spot where he got hit in the head diving into one of those chairs. He had a brief concussion by this point in the match. But as we see, he fought on. You fought on too. I got to give you some credit. This is a great match.
Look right here. Liberty Lock, Owen Hart taught me this. Kurt Angle signed, sealed, and delivered this.
Liberty Lock. But, there is no pinfall submission until after you get the bone, which I'm trying to explain to you. So you're an all-star American. Why are you using a Canadian hold?
Well, the Canadians, they got free health care, and, sometimes they slip across the border to have some dental work done. The bell rung right there on the winner. You should raise my hand right now.
No. The bell rung because of a miscommunication of the timekeeper not being aware of the rules at that moment. As you see here, you understood the rules. You're heading for the bone. You know that you have to use it. Oh, Bonehead sits up.
Well, I got the stinking bone. You should have.
You got the bone.
I'm the winner.
Bonehead is playing possum. We saw that set up there. You had no idea the beating that was about to come to you in this matchup.
I have him right where I want him. I've already won the match. This is extracurricular at this point. Michael Ramone, you should raise my hand right now.
I should raise your hand, but I'm not going to because of this. Bonehead with the ace up his sleeves. He knows your one weakness. You can't stay off of the sauce. You trade the flask for the bone. Bonehead is in control. tap on the shoulder, boom!
Oh.
Knocks you dead. He could pin you, but he's sick of your sorry ass. He wants to add insult to injury and the Bone Crusher.
You know, I don't remember this happening. This is not how I remember it.
I had to count. I didn't even care to count fast because I could have counted to 1,000,000. That was the Match of the Year award winner, Bone on a Pole, and it was a pretty great match. And before we go into the main event, let's get your thoughts on that match. You got your ass kicked to fight Bonehead in what was a tremendous match. Match of the Year award winner, Bone on the Pole won. It's one of the best matches DPW's ever had. And honestly, it sent you down on the downward spiral that you're on now.
Downward spiral. I'm the champion. I've got my troops. I'm coming back.
That match made you so delusional. You created this belt to cope with the fact that Bonehead won the Tri-States title, an actual sanctioned DPW event.
Carbon Electric gave me this title.
I don't care who gave you that title. We got to go to the next match. Our main event of DPW Apocalypse, as it was the Match of the Year award winner, 2023, Levi Motionless, versus, on this night, it wasn't simply Rick. We wound back the clock to Rick Gunner. Here it is, folks. The Cruiserweight Millennium versus Levi Motionless.
And now we close it out with our main event of DPW Apocalypse, as it was last year's Match of the Year award winner. That, you know, this is coming after what we just saw, the 2022 Match of the Year award winner, the Bone on the Pole. But this is Rick Gunner versus Levi Motionless. He wasn't simply Rick in this match. This was Rick Gunner. He took it back old school. This is the Cruiserweight of the Millennium we're talking about.
Yeah, Cruiserweight of the Millennium, my good pal, Rick Gunner, Simply Rick, whatever you want to call him. He's a chump through and through, and he's taking on Levi Motionless, the dirty frickin' hobo that he is. I don't know what to say about it.
You call Levi Motionless a dirty hobo, a hobo wizard, as I've heard you once refer to him, but, you know, he brought Rick Gunner out. He requested Rick Gunner. He requested him for this championship match. He wanted the world to see that the Cruiserweight of Millennium was still in there. And personally, I think that it was this match that started Rick on the trajectory that he's currently on as a world champion.
Well, you know, I can't agree. You know, I can't disagree with you or agree with you because you're a stinky winky. But Rick with a nice side headlock. Levi Motionless with those big, long, stinky legs. Got him wrapped up.
The scissors headlock there.
He needs to break the hold because that's a stinky crotch.
You know, these two, they're going hold for hold. Rick is showing in this match that he could still wrestle. There was none of the simply Rick tomfoolery in this match. What we got in this match was, you know, him and Levi essentially feeling each other out. This was the Match of the Year, but I can't help but to feel, looking back on it a year later, that if these guys could have gone a little longer and had a little bit more familiarity with each other, this could have, you know, won not just DPW Match of the Year, but just overall Wrestling Match of the Year. These two complement each other in the ring very well.
Well, you know, Rick Gunner, he's a young 1-2-3 kid. He's better than 1-2-3 kid ever was. And can you say the same about Levi Motionless?
I think Levi Motionless, he is one of those young veterans. And obviously he's watched tape. That was a huge suplex. He's working on the knees. He's using some moves that are in the Rick Gunner repertoire. He's using those moves because he studied the tape. He looks up to Rick Gunner. He may be young, but he realizes, because of the years he's been in this sport, that Rick is wiser. He has good plays.
Look, that's an illegal hold right there. You know, Levi Motionless has been hanging around with that Madman Pondo, working that hardcore style. I'm wondering if he's going to break that out in this match.
Levi is very much known for that hardcore style. This is one of the first matches that junior official Lee Montgomery wrestled, and that huge clothesline, you know, he played that to his advantage. That's those veteran instincts of the young Levi Motionless to take advantage of junior official Lee Montgomery to use that low blow to keep the advantage in this match.
Lee needs to get on him. He's got his foot on his throat. He needs to break the hold.
He did start the count there. Levi had to get off of him. You know, most people don't know this. Earlier in the day, Levi had actually wrestled a death match. He got to the arena, you know, cut up.
Yeah, I saw that freaking Neanderthal bonehead back there super gluing his back together.
But he went out there and he still competed. That's how much Rick Gunner and the DPW Championship meant to him. He wanted this match. As you see, locking in that figure four, that is a trademark of Rick Gunner.
That's your boy Buddy Landale taught Rick Gunner to figure four, and he'd be rolling over in his freaking grave seeing somebody like Levi Motionless use his hold.
Levi Motionless using the ropes to his advantage, but also using the inexperience at the time of Lee Montgomery to use the ropes for leverage. Rick, he might have been out if he didn't get caught.
You know, Rick, he's got the heart of a champion. I'm sure he's going to there you go, kick out at 3, kick out at 2. It doesn't matter. He's going to kick out.
He had this hold on for a long time. You got to think that, any other given day, should he not have been able to reverse this hold? If he would have been in that figure four a little longer, Levi's legs are longer than Rick's. He's got the reach and the size advantage on Rick. Being in that hold a couple minutes longer, we could have seen Levi shock the world.
Rick Gunner was handpicked by Tracy Smothers to be a part of the Southern Thugs in HCW, and he's had victories over the likes of Bo James and all kinds of independent legends along the career. He even whooped Gypsy Joe worse than New Jack did.
I can't say that you're wrong. Rick has had many a battle in his day, but now we've seen he tried to take back over and do those same moves from his repertoire that Levi was using against him. And Levi, of course, he is known, he's street smart. He's going to use the rules in his favor. Levi's one of those guys that you can't really pinpoint if he's a good guy or a bad guy. He's going to use low blows, and he's going to take the short way out, but that's because that's how he taught. He knew to be street smart, and you can't blame him for that, as Rick Gunner comes over with a float over DDT.
I think that's it. He needs to go for
that could have been it. That float over DDT there, he barely got over him with Levi being such a lanky individual. Bounces off the ropes and he trips him. Are we going to see some old school Rick Gunner? He's setting him up. That area code kick, that tiger fake kick. Here we go.
Picture perfect.
Levi knew it was coming. He did scout it a little bit. He had it blocked there, but Rick got just enough. He's going up to the top for a big splash. That was a very impactful splash for somebody as small as Rick Gunner. 2 count, but barely a 2.99 kick out. And that is what Levi Motionless does. He's great at those 2.99 kickouts because he shows the heart. And that's why he's a current tag team champion. And honestly, I think he will be DPW World Champion by, the end of his career. Maybe several-time DPW champion.
I don't see Simply Rick ever giving up that belt. He's too good. He's setting him up right here. The big man up for the TKO.
Or as he calls it, the GKO, that Gunner knockout.
Picture perfect.
Picture perfect. That's only the second time he's hit that in his comeback run completely. 1, 2, 3. No one gets out of that. He broke up that move, and he took it home. What a great match that Levi Motionless was able to bring out of Rick Gunner. And now we'll go back to us for our final thoughts.
With that, that's all 4 matches we have for you tonight. How about the action we saw tonight on the debut episode of Apocalypse?
It was great, and of course it's great. It had me in it. Of course, DPW is the greatest professional wrestling company in God's green earth. Mr. Liberty's the American hero. I'm the superstar of the year. I'm the beer pong champion of the year. I'm everything.
Mr. Liberty might be delusional, but as much time as I've had to spend with him tonight, I'm sorry. Hosting this show, Mr. Liberty, I think this is going to be the start of a beautiful friendship as we bring our debut episode of Apocalypse to a close. For Mr. Liberty, I'm your Commissioner, Michael Ramone. We'll see you next time.